Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. So great to see you today. And welcome to this, our very special Solo Travelers show today. Yes, solo travel is all the rage. It's booming and it is the thing to do. So ladies and gentlemen, you've come to the right place today. And we're really looking forward to our travel show today. So what's coming up today? Well, we've got lots and lots in store for you. We're actually going over to Japan. I hope you've got your bags packed and ready because we are going to Japan and you're going to experience Japan as a solo traveler. We're going to show you all there is to see there. Yes, as I said, as a solo traveler. Plus, yes, it may be the height of summer, but we have got a very special preview for you of our new Christmas collection. Yes, Christmas is just around the corner. Well, a few months away, but it's time to start planning now. Lots and lots coming up today, so please stay with us right through this very special travel show. And at the end of the travel show today, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be opening up our VIP Travel Lounge. That's your opportunity to meet the experts here at Wendy Tours, to ask all the questions that you want to ask about today's show, about solo travel, about the Christmas collection, in fact, anything at all. It really is a fun and lively place to be. So I look forward to seeing you at the end of the show. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's get going. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm joined now by Kate Rowe. Kate, ladies and gentlemen, heads up the reservations and operations team here at Wendy Tours. So it's a very important role. Big team for you, Kate, here at Wendy Tours. Lots going on.
Yeah, very busy now, Andy. You know, it's been great over the recent months to see so many tours operating, so many calls coming in, so many people desperate to travel. So very busy times.
Isn't that great, ladies and gentlemen? We love it. Travel is back, well and truly back. Busy, busy, busy. Now, Kate, talking about busyness, solo travel. Solo travel, I hear at Wendy Tours, is booming, literally booming, and the rise has been pretty crazy in the last 12 months.
It has. I think it caught us all by surprise. We started to notice that during the COVID years, and then since then it's just continued to rise. We're now seeing that about 30% of our bookings are coming from solo customers who want to be travelling on their own. And you know, I think there's lots of reasons for that, but after a few years of not being able to travel, I think a lot of our customers have just really decided to seize the day. And if that means not waiting for your friend to be free, to be able to travel on the same dates with you, or perhaps you don't want to make a compromise with your partner about where to go on holiday, so you're just deciding to go ahead and book the perfect holiday that suits you. Perhaps it's something that's on your bucket list. And now that the world is open and you can travel, people really are just seizing the day. I think that's one of the reasons that we're seeing this increase in solo travel at the moment.
That's great, ladies and gentlemen, is it? Because that's why we're here today, to celebrate solo travel and to really make the most of the travel opportunities that are there for us now.
Absolutely.
So Kate, the tours at Wendy Tours are pretty special, and I know Wendy Tours have won many awards for their touring, which is great to hear. They are fully inclusive, these tours. So what exactly does that mean, Kate?
So our group tours are fully inclusive, and that means what it says on the tin. They include everything that you need from when you first arrive at the airport to travel to when you land back home again. So our packages will include your return flights from the UK. They'll then include a transfer, so somebody meeting you at the airport when you arrive and taking you to your hotel. You've got all your accommodation included. You've got all your experiences and sightseeing included, so you don't need to worry about where you're going to go on that first morning when you wake up, and planning the timing and which sites are open and what time do they close and is there a queue. We've already taken care of the full itinerary for you. It also means that all of your meals are included, and that's really important to us at Wendy Tours because our product team have worked hard to find the best places for you to try the local cuisine, regional specialities. Some of our locations you have quite special meals. It might be with an amazing view, it might be that you enjoy a special authentic meal at a really small family run restaurant that you wouldn't have necessarily been able to see seek out on your own. But the meal times are also a time for the group to really relax, talk about the events of that day, perhaps share photos on your phone that you've taken during that day, and it can be where a lot of the memories are made. And I think all of that is particularly important for our customers who are going to be travelling solo. It really does take away any nervousness that you might be feeling. It helps with that anxiety. It might be the first time that you've travelled on your own, and I think knowing that you're going to be met at the airport and that you're going to be taken to your hotel and that somebody else has done all that research and hard work for you will take away a lot of the nerves. The other thing that's really important to mention is that our fully inclusive tours include having one of our guides with you throughout that tour. And our guides are fabulous. They know their country obviously incredibly well, and they're able to add local knowledge to you. They're able to point out whether it's a cultural tradition that you might be observing, whether it's something that you're eating in a restaurant, really able to add that local knowledge to your tour. So if you are feeling a bit nervous about travelling on your own, you can really relax and know that your local guide is there to give you a really warm welcome to their homeland, and it's going to really help you get to know other members of the group, break the ice a little bit, help everybody get to know each other over that first meal and that first welcome meeting that you'll have, and really be there to look after you throughout your holiday.
Oh, thanks, ladies and gentlemen. That sounds fantastic, doesn't it? I love the way everything is included. You're literally taken care of every step of the way. Brilliant. So Kate, solo travelling with Wendy Tours. Now I understand there are different ways of doing it. If I'm a solo traveller, there's a few different options that are available to me. What are they, Kate?
That's right, Andy. So option number one is at Wendy Tours we do organise some dedicated solo departures. So those are special departures of our most popular group touring programmes, but we put them aside and say this particular departure is only for solo travellers. And there's a few small differences within that. So for example, you do get included airport lounge, so that it just starts your trip off even more smoothly, especially if you are feeling a little bit nervous about getting on that plane. We also include welcome drink on arrival, which gives the group a nice chance to get to know each other. And it's also a slightly smaller group size. So we have a maximum of 18 people travelling on our solo tours. And that's just from our years of experience. We believe that that's the perfect group size for people who are travelling on their own to be able to, make friends, get to know each other. The group's not too big, it's not too small. So that's your first option. Your second option is you can just call and book on any of our other tours, any departure that suits you in any of our destinations. And that means that you will be travelling on a regular group tour, and there'll be a complete mix of people on that group. So there will be some couples travelling, there's likely to be perhaps a family or some people travelling with their friends, and there's also likely to be some other solo travellers in that group. And some people prefer that dynamic. They prefer to have a complete mixture of people and they like the variety that gives. And that's our normal group size, which means maximum 28 people in a group. Again, from our years of experience operating these tours, we find that a maximum of 28, when you have got a mixture of couples, friends and solos, gives you a really nice balance, gives you plenty of people to make friends with, get to know, without being a full coach load like some of our competitors offer. It's important to mention that when you do join on one of our regular group tours, you will see a single supplement that applies in the pricing. But the third option that we have for our customers who are looking to avoid that is you can let us know that you're happy to share. And what happens is we then mark your booking to say that you're happy to share a room while you're travelling on the tour with somebody else in the group. And then once we get to closer to departure, we look to match people. So as long as we've got somebody else who's of the same gender and has also said that they're willing to share, we'll let you know that we've matched you up, and then you won't need to pay your single supplement on the trip.
Kate, that's great. So many different options, ladies and gentlemen. Love it, love it. Kate, thank you so much for your time today. It's been great having you here in the travel show.
Great, thanks Andy.
Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready? It is the time now to go traveling. Yes, we're heading over to Japan. So, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you've got your bags packed, passports ready. Check, check. Let's fly there now. We're going on the flagship Wendy Wu Tours tour. Japan Uncovered, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, the big one from Wendy Wu Tours. And we're going to be experiencing this now as a solo traveler. So, let's go and meet Lee Holden, Head of Marketing at Wendy Wu Tours, who's going to show us around Japan on Japan Uncovered. Lee.
Thank you, Andy, and hello everyone. My name's Lee Holden and I'm the Head of Marketing at Wendy Wu Tours. So Andy and Kate have talked to you about the general appeal of travelling solo with Wendy Wu Tours. But what does that actually mean in terms of your day-to-day experience? I'd like to show you using one of our most popular tours as an example, which coincidentally is also one I recently joined myself as a solo traveller. Japan Uncovered is one of our most extensive tours of Japan, and it includes all of the iconic attractions and key cultural activities. Featuring modern cities, historic sites, beautiful landscapes, this tour ensures you get the most out of your trip to this fascinating country. You can really get an understanding of the history and the culture of this incredible destination, making this a hot ticket for travel at Wendy Wu Tours. Like all of our tours, this one is absolutely packed with those fun, immersive experiences that make travelling solo with us so sociable. For example, you'll try your hand at the age-old practice of washi paper making. You'll try some really unusual culinary combinations at a wasabi farm. Join a traditional tea ceremony in Kyoto. Enjoy a relaxing soak in a traditional onsen hot spring. You'll even get to roar on sumo wrestlers when the grand tournaments are in town. All great fun and guaranteed to break the ice with your fellow travellers. You're accompanied throughout your tour by one of our award-winning national escorts. Their unparalleled knowledge, enthusiasm and attention to the very tiniest detail really does make the holiday truly memorable. Our guide, Sakano, was so thoughtful, taking care of everyone and filling every moment with personal touches that really helped us to get to know the culture of Japan. Kate mentioned the sociable aspect of dining on our tours, and Japan is a perfect example. Japanese cuisine is delicious and so beautifully prepared. And for lunch and dinner, we invariably ate at local restaurants with the locals, and we enjoyed some fabulous food in great locations. In Osaka, we tried the local speciality of okonomiyaki in a cute small place with an open kitchen. Up in the Japanese Alps, we ate shabu-shabu beef at a lovely traditional restaurant in Shirakawa-go by the riverside. We ate miso pork stew in a miso factory, and we even tucked into delicious chanko nobe in Tokyo. This is a staple diet of sumo wrestlers, and we ate it in a lovely restaurant, complete with photos of past grandmasters, sumo art, and even a full-size reconstruction of a doyo. Tasty and great fun. So what of the tour itself? Well, you'll fly into Osaka, where you'll spend your first 2 nights. The city has a spectacular castle and is also known for having some of the best food in all of Japan. You'll try the famous savoury pancakes, okonomiyaki, and have the chance to sample the delicious street food too. From here, we also take a day trip to Nara. The historic capital of Japan, Nara boasts impressive temples and beautiful gardens. And we also get to meet the famous tame deer in Nara Park, who will bow in return for a cracker. We visit the magnificent Himeji Castle en route to Hiroshima. Built in the 17th century, it's widely considered as one of the finest castles in Japan, and is both a national and a World Heritage listed treasure. Hiroshima itself is also a real highlight. Today, a vibrant and forward-looking city, Hiroshima is best known, of course, as the first city in the world to feel the power of the atomic bomb. And the museum and the Peace Park Memorial are very moving. You'll also spend a lovely afternoon riding the ferry over to Miyajima Island with its famous floating torii gate and shrines. From here, we'll take the famous bullet train to Kyoto. And of course, on your Wendy tour, everything's taken care of for you, so you don't have to worry about anything, your tickets or where your luggage is, as it's all transported for you, and all you need to do is enjoy the experience with the other passengers on board the train. The journey is as smooth as silk, the trains are incredible, and yes, they do leave and arrive absolutely on schedule to the second. Kyoto was the capital of Japan for over 1,000 years, and the locals are justly proud of their cultural heritage. It's the best place in all of Japan to experience some of those traditional temples and shrines, including a visit to the famous Kinkoju Temple, known as the Golden Pavilion. You'll see geishas wandering amongst the narrow lanes, experience a traditional tea ceremony with a tea master, and you'll also have the chance to pick up some wonderful souvenirs. After visiting the spectacular garden at Kenroku-en, you'll travel up into the Japanese Alps. This region was a real highlight for me. It's absolutely beautiful and really fascinating to boot. You wander around the fabulously preserved village of Shirakawa-go, with its steeple-sided roofs designed to withstand the monumental snowfalls the region gets in the winter. We visit historic Takayama, and we also spend 2 nights in a ryokan, or traditional Japanese inn here. The inn boasts its own hot springs, everyone wears traditional dress in the hotel, and the food is just sensational. A real highlight. We travelled to Nagano for 2 nights, exploring the formidable 16th century Matsumoto Castle on the way, and visiting that miso house I told you about earlier. Journeying deep into the Japanese Alps, you'll meet the famous Japanese macaques, or snow monkeys, seeing them bathing and playing in the natural hot springs. It's a lovely walk up the forested valley to the hot springs, and the monkeys are just adorable. Everyone loved this day. And finally, we travelled to Tokyo, one of the world's most cutting-edge capital cities. With so much to see here, we spent 3 days in the city. Tokyo is an astonishing mix of ultra-modern and historic, with soaring glass skyscrapers and neon, cheek by jowl with tranquil gardens and ancient temples. We'll stroll around the vibrant Asakura district, explore the oldest temple in Tokyo, and shoot up to the top of the 634-meter high Skytree, the tallest structure in Japan and the tallest tower in the world. The tour ends with a lovely dinner cruise on Tokyo Bay for a farewell dinner, or you can look back on a wonderful adventure with your fellow travellers, who by now are sure to be firm friends. So there we have it. I hope I've given you a flavour of how much fun travelling solo with Wendy Tours is, and I hope I've inspired you to let us take care of your travels very soon. Thank you and goodbye.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, yes, it's the height of summer, but Christmas is just round the corner. Yes, Christmas is steadily approaching, so if you haven't yet made your travel plans for Christmas this year or Christmas 2024, well, Wendy Tours have got the perfect ideas for you. Yes, 5 very special Christmas tours coming up for 2023 and 2024. How would you like to spend Christmas at the Great Wall of China? Or even Christmas Day, yes, Christmas Day at the Taj Mahal in India. Can it get any better than that at Christmas? Well, let's find out more about these very special Christmas tours for this year, 2023 and 2024. And even better still, when you book your Christmas tour for 2023 or 2024, when you book by the end of July this year, Wendy Tours are going to send you a very festive Christmas hamper. Yeah, a hamper packed with lots of goodies. So you'll get to have a little bit of Christmas before you depart this year on your tour.
been very fortunate that I've had 2 long tours already with Wendy Wu, 4 weeks in China and 4 weeks in South America, both on my own, and they were absolutely fantastic, to the extent that I almost don't want to travel with any other company now, because I just feel everything is so well organised, from the initial booking to getting safely back to England. The guides are superb. The range of activity suits me perfectly. So there's some history, some geography, quite a lot about the culture of the area, the opportunity to try things, whether it's dance, music, cooking. Every day brings a new delight, really. And I do feel so well looked after. If there's any sort of problem, like in the run-up to this trip, I was worried about COVID and what would happen if I tested positive, what would happen if I had to isolate. And the logistics department answered all my queries immediately and was so reassuring and made me feel confident that people would help me every inch of the way. And that has been the case, actually. It's been marvellous to be so well looked after. I love that the meals are included, so I don't need to start wandering around at night on my own, trying to find somewhere for dinner in a strange area. I love it that all the entries are included, so there's not this big debate about should I, shan't I, how much is it going to cost, how much money do I need to take with me. I've hardly spent anything, to be honest, just incidental expenditure. So I think the value for money, which is not my main priority, but it is also extremely good.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, 2023 is a very, very special year for Wendy Wu Tours. Yes, it's the 25th birthday of Wendy Wu Tours, and to celebrate this fantastic achievement, well, Wendy Wu Tours are doing a special VIP anniversary tour in October of this year. Yes, a very special tour of the classic Mekong, VIP all the way, with lots of super experiences. And to top it all, Wendy Wu herself, yes, Wendy will be joining that tour to celebrate with you. So it's going to be extremely special indeed.
Hello everyone, so happy to see you. I am so excited because soon in October I'm joining our 25th anniversary tour, and I will have opportunity to spend quality time with many of our super VIP repeat customers on our very own Victoria Mekong cruise. I am so looking forward to it. Vietnam and Cambodia are the second destinations after China for our company. It is very special for us all, and that's why we selected for our VIP anniversary tour this time. On this special tour, we packed many goodies for you to experience, such as the Hai Long Bay Scenic Flight, which you will be able to see at least 300 spectacular islands emerge from the Emerald Sea. It will be stunning. You will also enjoy an experience in a very special restaurant run by the blind people. You will feel and the special flavor and the taste of food became even stronger when you taste it in dark, when you cannot see. And plus, that on this cruise when I'm with you, I have carefully prepared and selected the best learnings for the last 3 years of my own wellness and mindfulness journey. I can't wait to share with you. Anyway, I'm so looking forward to it and hope to see many of you. Thank you.
So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm joined now by two of our VIP solo passengers to find out exactly what it's like traveling solo with Wendy Woo Tours. Zoe, great to see you today, and Louise, great to see you too.
You all right?
Hi, yeah.
Thanks for joining us
No
on
problem.
this, our
No
special
problem.
travel show
Yeah.
today. We've heard lots today in today's travel show about traveling solo, but we want to find out what it's really like traveling solo on a Wendy Woo Tours solo tour. Louise, I'm going to start with you. I know you're a big advocate of traveling solo with Wendy Woo Tours. And Wendy Woo Tours have got a great track record of running tours for, coming up to 25 years now. What does that experience and reputation mean to you as a solo traveller?
I think obviously it means anything and everything when you're travelling alone. I think from the point of obviously booking the tour, you know exactly what you've got to do, everything's mapped out, you've got your itinerary, and then obviously everything just comes all together in your pack and you just have to go and get to the airport, and at the other end you're met by someone and the adventure begins. So it's a great way to travel. I mean, it's the best way to travel as well, because you've got that peace of mind that everything is taken care of.
Is that the same? Would you agree with that?
Completely.
Yeah.
I think peace of mind is the key phrase, particularly if it's your first time traveling solo. There's a lot of trepidation, nervousness, and that's perfectly normal. You are going to feel nervous. But if you can eliminate the things that feel overwhelming, like the itinerary, food, destination, all that, if it's taken care of, you get peace of mind, and then you can just relax and enjoy.
So, I mean, just looking at that kind of reputation and kind of profile, is that something that you both sort of consciously looked for?
I think obviously more so than ever before with what's happened with regards to the pandemic and travel. You've got to look at obviously being looked after and experiencing the whole trip without thinking, where am I going? What's it going to be like? What's the transportation going to be like when I get there? So I think you've got to iron out everything that you're taking into consideration. And I don't know if you feel exactly the same, but we are completely looked after from start to finish. Whether that be on arrival, during the day, the whole itinerary and what we've got to do, where we've got to be at certain times. We're at the forefront of everything you do, so that's the reason I travel.
Oh, good. We'll look at this a little bit more in more detail later. But so I'm going to ask you, I mean, why would a solo traveller specifically benefit from travelling with Wendy Woo Tours?
I think my perception of solo travel initially was either schlepping around on a camel in the desert or in a hostel, clutching your backpack thinking I'm going to be robbed. If you wanted to eliminate all of that and it's your first time solo traveling, it's the perfect hybrid, I would say. So you can go away, peace of mind, you can socialize with people if you want to, you can stay in your room if you want to, all your meals are taken care of. So it's that introductory to solo travel, and once you've done one, I promise you'll do more, because it's just such a great experience. You can socialize, also you get lots of options that you can dip in and out of, whereas if you were totally on your own, all those things you'd have to think about.
I think there's a lot of things we would potentially miss out on as well if we didn't have an itinerary to follow, especially with the destinations that you go to. Obviously, a lot of it isn't just the key points where you would think about going. We obviously go to places where I wouldn't venture, potentially alone. So you do give us a full insight of the place that we've chosen, and you would see things that you didn't even know existed.
Yeah, so I think it's a first time solo traveller. I would highly recommend it, because it makes it so easy, and you can become more adventurous.
Yes.
But you're going to really key destinations: Vietnam, China, Japan, Sri Lanka. I mean, it's not like you're going to Europe, although you could do that if you wanted to.
Yeah.
But you can be adventurous in safety.
Yeah.
Thank you.
could interestingly talk about all the destinations, because that is key here, that there are so many destinations to choose from. So how important is destination choice and the depth of the itinerary when choosing a solo tour?
It was the key deciding factor for me, and that outweighed the cost. So, of course, if you go on an organised tour, it's going to be slightly more expensive than if you were sort of completely doing it alone. But the destination and the really detailed itinerary was an absolute, yep, I'm doing it.
I think when you factor everything in as well, in terms of wherever we come from in the UK, so obviously flight, then transfers, then we get there, the level of hotel that we stay in, the meals that's included, the transportation while we're there, the entry fees into the places that we visit. If you broke that down, then in theory it is worthwhile.
So worthwhile.
I don't think I would be able to put half of that together if you sat on the internet and thought, right, I need a flight, I then need a transfer, I then need accommodation, and then you're fighting against, have I got enough time in this place? Will I miss out on something? It is busy. It's a jam-packed itinerary, but I wouldn't have it any other way, really.
No, and I think that sort of meticulous planning takes so much time. Even when you're there and you're traveling, you still have to be forward thinking, right, when am I going to eat, when am I going to turn up, then I have to check into the hotel. Was what you're doing is sort of compressing time, aren't you? With the
you would waste a lot of time if you try to do it yourself.
Time.
And there is sometimes wherever we go, there could be a language barrier and things like that, which again, what you don't want to do is ruin the experience because you've tried to do it yourself and then you've ended up being a little bit fearful of thinking, right, I shouldn't be here, but I am here. Now how do I get where I need to be? So that's another thing where you don't want your trip ruined because you can't relax and enjoy it.
We heard a lot in the show earlier about Wendy Wu Tours offering fully inclusive tours, which of course includes all the meals and all the dining. Is this really important to you as a solo traveller?
I think I've just obviously touched on that briefly. I think it is so really worthwhile what you put together in terms of obviously like breakfast potentially in the morning if we've got a long day ahead, then we're all together at lunchtime, and then again you've got maybe an afternoon where we're out and about. It's good that we're all together in one place, because I think if you didn't offer maybe a lunch like point or a meeting out at lunch and we had free time, then if we all didn't gather at the same point at a specific time, we could miss out on the afternoon trip. So therefore you're not wasting any time. Yeah, you could go off and do something on your own if you didn't want to stay for lunch, but ultimately you don't want to then think, oh well, we're going to be late here because we potentially could be waiting for people who have gone off on their own. And it's not to say you can't, but what we get as a package is very well put together.
I mean, I dipped in and out of meals, so I didn't take every opportunity. Some days, I mean, I was working as well, so some evenings I just went back to my hotel room, I ordered room service. So don't think that just because there's food that you've got to eat. And I think, being a couple, maybe it's going out for dinner, it's on your own, you've got that option.
Yeah, sometimes you want your own space, and obviously we do travel obviously alone, and there is a time where you want some alone time, but you're more than happy to muck in, and everyone, there's great camaraderie. You find out so much more about everyone, what they do, where they've been. That gives you ideas as well, thinking, oh, well, I've never thought about going there, but obviously I've heard that. So you get as much time together as you do if you want to be by yourself.
Really important. That's a very good point, actually. And I'm going to touch now, something that is always a key talking point, ladies and gentlemen, with the touring experience, is the tour managers. So, I'm going to ask, about your experiences with the tour managers and also the group size as well.
So the first tour I did with Wendy was Vietnam and Cambodia. So because it was split, we had obviously a tour guide in Vietnam and then a tour guide in Cambodia. And then obviously Peru, we had one. They're from the area, it's their country. They're very proud to have you there as a visitor. They want to tell you everything there is to know about their country, food, places to visit, culture. their knowledge is priceless. So when you're aware, and if anything happened, or if you wanted to just ask them to go off on you by yourself, or we want to go here, they would be fully knowledgeable, and you'd feel fine. You know, the part of the group, aren't they? The part of that little family for your holiday, and they're as part of us as we're a part of them, and for them to see us enjoy ourselves is great, I think. There was probably 13 the first trip I did, then there was 16 on this one, so it was a nice size. You know, it was good. We were like little sheep, all huddled together, so it was a lovely little group, on both of them.
Ladies, final piece of advice for ladies and gentlemen watching at home that thinking, this all sounds good, it's okay for them to be able to do this, but I'm just not sure that I really can do it. What would you say? What's your advice to our viewers at home?
I think anything that you try first, you will always have a little bit of fear. I won't even begin to say that you don't, but if you think about it too much, you will probably talk yourself out of it. But with what you guys do, I don't really think there's any reason for anyone to be apprehensive or not try it, because everything's mapped out and tailored for this. There's no reason not to enjoy it, really, is there?
I would say, having been stuck at home for 3 years and the opportunity not to travel, we're now really feeling the desire to go off and do something interesting. And Wendy Woo is that bridge to an interesting, really unique, meticulously planned experience.
Even places you would never think about going.
On
you
your
guys,
own.
on your own, you guys do. And then I think when you read, if it's 2 places or 1 or 3, you probably may not have thought, I would like to go there. But then I think when you read what you offer and where you go and what you do, you think, I never thought about going there, but I will now.
Yeah. And I had no issues with my group.
No.
I mean, I had lovely people.
We were great. We really had a
it was
good time.
fabulous. So, really
Because
fun.
I've heard also that people, make friends on these
Oh, you
tours
do?
and,
You
friends
do.
for life.
Really
You do?
lovely
You do?
people. And also because you're together for quite a concentrated period of time. So again, I wonder if you were completely solo, you just wouldn't have that opportunity. You might meet someone in a restaurant. We were in one of our hotels, there was a girl traveling through, and we met her for an evening, and then she went off. And we were sort of saying, actually, it's really nice that we've had this bonding experience, because you're forced to be together and kind of look after each other, eat together. So,
because we're all probably at different stages as well in our lives, where some of us will have travelled extensively over the years, where some of us may not have gone as far as where you guys go. So that experience shared gives a lot of people when they come back, because I think that is when you come back and you get that feeling of back off holiday, right? And now you're in a bit of a lull, because you think this time yesterday or this time last week we were doing this. It then gets them cogs turning and think, right, okay, so I've heard about this part of the world, I'm gonna go. And then you just end up getting the bug, don't you? And you just fall
and
back
I have
into
to say, I went up to the north, up to the tea plantations, and the train journey, one of the best experiences of my life. It was beautiful.
Yeah, we did one in Peru where we when they were on a train.
Sounds quite life-changing as well.
Oh, it was, yeah. And I just thought, my gosh, I could die here and I'd be happy,
Because you don't think it exists, do you, until you see it?
Yeah.
You can see pictures, and pictures do tell a story, but being in that picture and being part of it is just something else, really.
Fantastic. Ladies, thank you so much. This has been really insightful. And ladies and gentlemen at home, I'm sure you've enjoyed this in terms of hearing what it is actually like traveling solo. So as you heard Zoe and Louise today, time is now to do it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, what an amazing show we've had today. It really has been spectacular. We've found out so much about solo travel with Wendy Wu Tours. It's been great. So now, ladies and gentlemen, it is that time, yes, the very important time. We're going to be opening up our VIP travel lounge, and this is your opportunity to speak to the experts at Wendy Wu Tours, to ask any questions that you've got on anything on today's show and traveling solo with Wendy Wu Tours, or anything on traveling with Wendy Wu Tours. The experts are there ready and waiting to answer your questions. And we've also got Louise, who you saw earlier in the show, will be joining us in the travel lounge as well. So great opportunity to speak, mingle and ask those questions. Just scroll down on your screen, ladies and gentlemen, and you will see the red button. If you just click on that red button, you'll be taken directly straight through to the VIP lounge where the experts are ready, waiting, and I'll be joining you there myself as well. So let's go over to the VIP lounge.
We found Wendy Wu to be spot on from start to finish, with all the actual interactions from the booking to the preparation for the trip to arriving at the airport. It's been painless and faultless. Wendy Wu, they really do look after you.
I've been on other tours before, and yeah, Wendy Wu definitely includes sort of a lot more. It makes it a lot easier.
I liked the idea of what Wendy Wu offered. They have an excellent reputation. So I looked at a number of other tour companies, but Wendy Wu seemed to be the best.
Everything being included is really important. It makes it very, very easy, and you don't have to worry.
I just felt confident that that Wendy Wu would know, the best places to go and the best things to do, and it's proved so far on the trip. It's proved correct.
I've been really impressed with not only right from the start when I rang up to book. The staff in the office were really helpful, just kind of organising things and making sure that we got all the right paperwork in.
Our national escort was Lily. Lily's been fantastic, so full of energy and so helpful. She calls us Lily's family. She's always referring to us as Lily's family, and I think she's really helped us actually bond as a group, which made the whole trip much more enjoyable.
The Great Wall was extraordinary. It genuinely brought tears to my eyes, looking out and understanding the history, and just seeing how it was built in inhospitable terrain across the mountain ridges. It was awe-inspiring.
Wendy Wu staff, the local guides, our national guide Lily, they've been more than helpful on many occasions, and they have done absolutely everything they can to ensure that we've had the trip of a lifetime.
I hugged a panda, which was an amazing experience and one that I will never forget.
I recommend Wendy Wu Tour to everybody, and tell them that if they want to go to China, nobody better than Wendy Wu Tour.
I will recommend Wendy Wu. It's been a terrific experience with them. I've been very pleased.
Oh, fantastic. Absolutely fantastic.
I'd recommend it to people that want to go on an adventure and visit somewhere they'd probably only see once, but to see the authenticity rather than just the tourist highlights that you could see on the internet.
I will certainly recommend Wendy Wu Tours when I go back to England. In fact, I'm sure we'll be going on more Wendy Wu Tours because we want to go to Vietnam and other places, and I'll see Wendy Wu do those tours, so we'll certainly be booking again with Wendy Wu.